There we go. Happy Wednesday. George should be on very shortly.
Find out what
How are
we
you,
need to do
Tiffany?
about this one.
Doing really good.
Good.
Morning, Brandon. I don't know if he can hear me.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, there you are. Hey. Hey, I sent George an email last night and I was like, hey, this is what I heard from Brandon. He confirmed. So soon I'll be reaching out to you to see if you have any specific names for the lanyards for your guests for Summit.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Good morning, Mr. Martin.
You're on mute, Tom.
I don't know. It's fine. It's okay. Good morning. George is in here somewhere. There he is. Kind of.
Sorry, guys, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm trying to, I just hooked my computer up in my new office and I'm trying to get my dual screen set up.
La-di-da. I
It's
need
okay.
a dual screen.
It's okay, Tom. You can admit you don't know how to work your own computer. You've been using Kim's for so long now that
Go to
Here.
bed, go to bed.
you forgot how to use
Bed?
yours.
So you just told her go to bed? You just told her go to bed?
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hold on one second. Let me get situated
Really
here.
well.
All right, so someone help me out here. I'm on my settings. I'm trying to turn my dual screens and I've lost total thought of what I need to do.
Okay, so on your Mac, go to,
Oh, we're already lost. No Mac here.
no, oh, then you can't really do it. It doesn't work on your computer. If you have a
Okay.
Mac, you can do everything. On yours, nothing.
All
Just
right.
thought I'd throw that in there.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Tom, with that one. We're going to get started. Good morning, everybody.
Go
Today
ahead.
we're going to hit objection handling today because that's something we've wanted to have a lot of people were interested in. We'll get started in just a little bit. Is Steve on the call? Because we threw him under the
Steve
bus.
is. Yep.
You absolutely did. I'm on, Mr. Philbeck. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for being on. I appreciate that. Guys, between Steve and Tom, you have some of the best objection handling skills possible. I'm going to do my best to keep up. I do not guarantee that I will be anywhere near at that level, but this is about objection handling today. If you've got them, start putting them in the chat box. We're going to hit every single one of them. Just to give you a refresher on what we're talking about or what is going to be in there to consider, a lot of them are reducing your commission. You're going to have them about why should I go with you and not somebody else? When you start thinking about these, put them in there. Let's go through them and let's make a really good live mastermind on objection handling. And before we get started though, Tiffany, Joe, do we have something that we need to talk about for housekeeping today?
I do. At what time is this? 4 p.m. Eastern. Icon series, how to get 20 listings in 30 days. So I hope that you guys take all of the objection handlers that you hear today and then go hop into this class so that you can use these in how to get listings. For my state specific class, let me see, I've got to scroll up. I lost one of them. I have two. North Carolina, you have a best practices today, and Nevada, I have a new Nevada agent. They have a contracts training today as well. Joe will drop the links for that and our summit, which is 3 weeks away. Super excited. Cannot wait. Like every day that goes by, I'm like, oh, one day closer. That's what I've got.
Today is menu planning day, and we're going to set up the speakers in the right order for the day, in the right order so that we have everything set up. Give you a little teaser on what we're going to cover. We're going to cover, just massive building of businesses from YouTube, open houses, database, some of the basics that we do. Some live coaching is going to be going on to help with your business. We've got 3 mega coaches. Coach Cliff Freeman, of course, will be here speaking as well. Brent Gove, Jeff and Marcy Willems, Sheila Fairgeron, Elizabeth Riley, who is just unbelievable. A couple of coaches, which you can't miss this. This is about your business. And today I get to plan the happy hour food. That's my favorite part. So we're going to plan that out as well. For everybody on the call, you can't do this just yet, but I'll let you know that on one of the days, and we'll determine what day that is, pretty good idea what it is. One of those days, there's going to be a private luncheon, because we got about an hour, hour and a half for lunch. There's going to be a private luncheon. It's very exclusive, about 30 people, be exactly the cost that the hotel charges us. There's no upcharge, nothing on it. We want to keep it super inexpensive, but it's going to be 30 people in a room with all of our premier speakers, one-on-one time, face-to-face, glad handing. If anything is powerful, that will be an event you want to go to. And I'll let you know what the price is for it. We're doing it. We're going to put it out. And it's a first come, first served basis. So we'll let everybody know when it opens up so that it's not, so you all can bum rush it. But that's something you want to do. Let's get to it. Put your faces on. I only see like 5 people. How is this possible? There's 5 people that are showing their smiling faces, because this is about you and your business. Do we have objections? Does anybody have to wait a couple of weeks? I love that one, Joey. We're going to cover that one. If you have objections, that's what we're doing. If you don't have objections, if there's nothing you want answered or tried out, then this is going to be a real short call.
Hey, George.
Yeah, go ahead.
George, what I'd like for everyone to do is put your main objections in the chat box. But I want to start off because I have to have a hard stop right at 9. I have a coaching client, and I have to get off immediately. And I know Steve can take over from there, or we can interact this. We're going to interact this together. Here's the thing I would say is, so there's this thing called the Art of Objection Handling, and I actually put this in the GPS files not too long ago, and I'm going to do it again today. I highly recommend everyone read it's a pamphlet. It has about 13 pages, but truly somebody just mentioned, will you take 2%? Will you take 3%? Will you take 1%? Will you do it for 500? Whatever it may be. Why should I use you? And I'm going to cover some of those objections, and I'm going to also interact with Steve on this. And I'm going to call you out on this, George. George told us this morning at 8:05, hey, Tom and Steve, you guys are doing this class. You just don't know it yet. Just get it on the call. All right.
I love it.
So the art of objection handling, guys, it's all here. Okay, So immediately we're all thinking an objection is someone mean, they're pushing back. It's a mindset. And as soon as that objection comes out, the first thing we do is we go, uh-oh. But here's the reality of it. If they don't ask, they'll never know. Plus, so I'm going to cover a few of these things. Will you take 2%?
Tom, real quick, can I just interject?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to let everybody know that objections are questions. If you're not getting objections, then you're not going in the right direction, and you're not doing what you need to be doing. If you should be getting objections. If you're not, then the appointment, whatever appointment it may be, is not going in the right direction. I think that we need to remember, when it comes to objection handling, we need to agree with them. We need to isolate it. We need to isolate that objection, and then we need to overcome it. Please remember, never use the word but. Always use the word and. So you want to agree. I totally agree. And let me tell you why that concerns me. Not but, because it's when you use the word but, it then becomes confrontational, and you want to try to avoid that. So always use that word and in situations. 5 tips for handling objections. Number 1, always smile. Number 2, always agree. Say, I understand. Number 3, body language. Always nod. I understand. Number 4, as I said, never use the word but. And then number 5, restate the objection. Okay? The old feel, felt, found. So I feel the way, you know what I mean? I understand the way you feel. I felt that way before. What I found is, so you can always use that in the process of overcoming an objection. What I'd want to do is, if we can in the chat, let's try to get some common objections that you're hearing right now in the market with the current, inventory crisis, if you will, that we're in. I don't know if you guys are hearing some of the same objections. Oh, I'm going to hold off until the market crashes, all that, all those wonderful things. So put that in the chat, and then me and Tom will try to isolate.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna moderate this. We're gonna go back and forth from Tom to Steve. As you write an objection, we're gonna throw it to one, then throw it to another. Once we do that, we'll get the answers from both and we'll go on to the next one, because there's a lot to cover. And guys, what I'm looking for, what I think we all want, is we want to experience how you say and what you say. You're going to have different styles, and that's totally cool. So let's start this off. One of my all-time favorites is, and I promise I won't miss yours, Joey. Let's go. Tom, first. Will you take 2% commission?
So hold on one second, George. Steve, while I'm answering this, can you type in the five things
Yeah.
you just listed? Okay, so George, I understand. You know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. How important is that 2% to you? Is that the only thing stopping you from hiring me today, right now?
Well, it's all about how much money I make. I mean, I'm just trying to save money.
Perfect. I completely understand how you feel. So the number one thing for you is how much net you're going to net after the sale, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me show you what we can net you based off of what the sale price would be. And by the way, what are you looking to net and walk away with?
I want X dollars. So he took me from my commitment of it's 2% to switch it over to what it really was, which was net proceeds, right, Tom?
Correct, because we know, guys, here's the number one thing. It's not about the commission you're getting to earn. By the way, no one pays it to you, you earn it. And I always used to say this, hey, George, you know what? I want you to understand, you'll never pay me a commission. And here's why. I'm going to earn everything that at the end of this sale, I'm going to earn it. So let's go back and let's talk about what you're looking to net, and let's go through that. So if we can overcome the commission and you're okay netting a certain amount of money by hiring me and my professional services, would you be listing your house with me today?
You'll get that. That was awesome. Steve, are you ready? Going to you.
Uh-oh.
We'll come back to it. Steve, I don't think, will you take 2% commission?
Unfortunately, no. Our commission is 5% non-negotiable.
Okay. All right, cool. But other people said they would take 2%. Other people said they take, well, folks, quite honestly, a lot of times they'll be like, okay.
Well, I can appreciate that other agents would, George, and let me tell you why that makes me nervous. If other agents don't have the confidence, you know what I mean, to stand up for their own self-worth when it comes to accepting a lower commission, how strong do you think they're going to be when it comes to negotiating the sale of your home, especially when it comes to negotiating during the 3 points, critical points of a transaction: the initial offer, after the inspection, and after the appraisal. So just please remember that that's one of the things that makes me nervous for you. Also, how does it feel knowing that you've out-negotiated an agent on their commission?
Guys, I want you to hear what he just said. So that is an objection that has been around for 100 years. It's nothing he created. It's nothing that I created. If I was to take less commission and I took away from my family and my business, what makes you think that I'm going to defend the value of your home when it comes to that negotiation time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. One huge importance. And he said something really important after that. There's 3 critical components. Okay. The offer, the inspection, and then anything else that comes after it. And quite often, guys, I always said this, guys, I do have a flexible commission plan, and you're going to be able to choose one of those commission plans once we go through this process. If you cannot deliver value, the commission doesn't matter. When you deliver value, people want to help you earn that number that's going to benefit your business and your family. And you're only going to be able to get to that is if you ask more questions. Oh, if I took 2%, would you hire me now?
Okay. So let me jump in. We're going to have to move pretty quickly through these because we've got a lot, and I do want to
Go
hear.
ahead,
Everybody wants to hear you guys going back and forth on this one. I'm going to start with the one just going down the line on this one as they're being typed in there. Jonathan, you had your hand up. Just type it if you want to. If you got anything, we're going to move quickly. Hey, I'd like to wait a couple. Stephen, this is for you. I'd like to wait a couple of weeks and try and sell it on my own first.
I can understand you wanting to sell it on your own first. What is it that has you going or trying to do it for sale by owner? Is it the fact that you're trying to avoid paying a real estate commission?
Yeah, I really like just not to pay the commission is what I'm looking for. If I could sell it on my own, I will.
I completely understand. And if I could show you a way where we could represent you and use our comprehensive marketing plan, and I could net you the same amount of money in a shorter period of time, would you at least be interested in hearing about that?
Yeah, I'd definitely be open to that. You see how that transitioned? He acknowledged what I said and then moved me through it and then went to what was really my biggest issue is it's about the money. Great response, Steve. Tom, same one. I'd like to wait a couple of weeks and try and sell it on my own first.
I completely understand how you feel about that. All the for sale by owners that I've worked with in the past have felt the same way. What they found was by hiring me now, we were able to get this up and running to get you the best offer now. So I don't want you to miss this opportunity. So let's go through this. Let's at least talk about it, go through the process. And at the end, if you still want to do it on your own for a week or two, that's fantastic. At the end, do you feel confident I can help you sell it? And if they say yes, say fantastic. Let's go ahead and date it for this date. So I don't have to come back and do this all over again with you. Now, I'm giving you 2 weeks to do it on your own, and then we're going to be putting it on the MLS. Would that be okay? Because there's other objections behind the objection.
So what you've done is you've switched it over on that particular situation. You switched it over where, yes, go ahead and sell it on your own. And then the response was, I'm going to get started. That's the illusion is I'm going to get started on the marketing and get started being prepared. So when you're ready for me to do it 2 weeks from now, but he already has a listing agreement. That's a great way to do it. That's a softer approach, works out really well. I'm not sure I understand this one. So let me put this one, Steve, to you. Overcoming Zillow 360 cash offers, which requires the buyer to purchase with a Zillow buyer agent. You understand
Let me find that in the chat, George. Who put that up?
Brandon, it's up on the top.
Overcoming Zillow 360 cash offers, which requires the buyer to purchase with a Zillow buyer agent. Brandon, are you on?
Yeah, he is.
Help me out with that one, Brandon.
Okay, I'm gonna give you to Travis because Travis encountered this yesterday.
Mr. Travis.
Quickly, please.
So the gentleman is selling his house over in Tampa. He is moving to Melbourne. He used the Zillow 360 cash offer to get a cash offer for his home sale. In order to get that, they are mandating that he uses a Zillow agent on the buying side. So how do I overcome that as a buyer's agent when I'm sitting there going, because I met the guy at an open house?
Stephen, let me jump in on that one.
Please.
If they're selling their house and they're using Zillow and Zillow is requiring them to use another Zillow agent for the purchase, we overcome that with legal because it's bullshit. And I understand what I understand about the law. I'm actually going to have to give a call to the legal hotline and see if that's legal or not, because that strikes me as way off. Let's circle back on that. I hate that I use that.
Are they giving any type of? Are they giving any type of discount, Brandon, or anything? Are they doing anything?
Yeah, I just quickly even Googled the Zillow 360 and look at all the, I mean, they advertise that it's $10,000 cheaper and they go through all the different benefits of using it. But one of the requirements is that they use a buyer's agent if you're buying, and they even pay for the move and all that kind of stuff if local.
I mean, the only way to combat that, I think, is to get in front of them, you know, present your value proposition and show them a way that you can net them more. I mean, are we sure that this Zillow 360 cash offer is competitive? I mean, have you looked at comps? What are we thinking?
In his situation with the comps over in Tampa, he was actually offered $5,000 more than, he lives in a brand new D.R. Horton community. His home was built in 2018. Neighbor sold it a month ago, and he's now being offered $5,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hate to do this, but for the sake of time, we're
Sure.
going to have to spin back and come back to this later because it's kind of off of the topic. It's a unique situation and we need to get some legal answers. So I hope you stick around. We'll finish it in the end. We can come back to that when we're over. But for everybody's benefit, we want to make sure we are on point. We have a little bit more time left with Tom. Here's another one for you. Let's go with you, Tom. I'm not a listing agent. I'm not listing with an agent.
I understand exactly how you feel by not listing with an agent. May I ask you, why do you feel that way?
Well, I don't think I need to. It's a really, really hot market. I can just sell it myself.
I completely understand that you want to sell it on your own. Let's talk about how you arrived at the price.
Okay. So you went back to the price. That's your combat for it. It's because it really is going to be net proceeds, correct?
Correct. I'm getting
Okay.
ready to dig into net proceeds. If I can show you a way where I can provide professional services and professional negotiation skills and net you a certain amount of money that you're comfortable with and be protected, would that be of value to you?
Awesome. I love that.
I'm looking.
I'm
Look,
I want-
and
I wanna-
I'm going
go
to dig, George, hold on one second. I'm going to dig in a little bit further because I'm going to ask them what is another reason why you're not going to hire an agent? Is it the contract? Is it the commission? And I'm going to throw stuff out there because also you've got to be able to work with that objection behind the objection.
and determine what it is. That's one of the things. You guys have a pretty clear idea of the three main objections. Tom, what are the three main objections that we run into? Because a lot of things boil down to this, guys. These are the underlying motivations. Tom, you and I talked about that here today.
Yeah, so there's three things that stop a seller from wanting to hire an agent. And the first thing is they don't want to pay the commission, okay? They're thinking, oh, the commission's too high, all right? Number one. The number two thing is they don't want to sign a contract. They feel like they'll be trapped either, and they may have been trapped before. But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, every single listing agreement I do, I have what's called a stress-free release program, where if you're not happy with the quality of services I provide, you can cancel this agreement at any given time, period. Done. I don't care what it's for. You don't want to continue? All right, fantastic. Boom, next. Because here's the thing. If you try to hold on to that, you're holding on to the commission and you're not doing what's right for the consumer.
Is that
All right.
cancel any time clause in the contract or in writing anywhere?
I put zero time clause in there. Here's the thing. If it's under contract and I show it and it goes on the contract, yes, I'm not releasing them. If I show it to Joey today and he knows, and that seller knows Joey wants to buy it, then I'm going to put Joey in as an exclusion. Okay, I'm not going to be stupid because of that, but I have never once in all the years had anyone go, hey, I want to buy this house, and then the seller say, hey, I'm canceling because I'm going to negotiate directly with them. Does it happen? I'm sure it does, but I don't really care. I got too much other business going on. So hopefully those three things.
You're coming from contribution, which is the right way to do it. And I love that.
Yeah, so commission is always the number one. And then the contract is always number two. So you got a stress-free release program, and boom, it's over. I never, ever, ever put a cancellation fee in. Guys, that is the broker that's wanting that because they want money. They don't care about the consumer. Okay? I never did that. If you do that, that's your business, whatever you do, period. The other, and again, they might have had a bad experience with another agent, so now they don't want to hire someone. You have to earn it, and you have to earn it by asking the right questions. And guys, here's the thing. The questions are already formulated for you. They've been around for 100 years. The listing presentation has the questions you need to ask. And here's the other thing. If you talk more than the seller does, you haven't asked enough questions. There's two letters you need to remember, Q and A. Matter of fact, they talked about this at Build. Shut up and listen. Several people that I coach, I always ask them, all right, what's on your whiteboard? It says, shut up and listen. Really?
Yeah, in its simplest form, selling is asking questions. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's carry on with. We've got a lot more that we want to get covered. I had, and everybody keeps typing.
So I put in.
Oh, I love it. Let's go to you, Steve. This is
George. I put the Art of Overcoming Objections in the chat box.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Stephen, for you, I think this is a buyer side. I think we're just going to rent until prices come down.
I totally understand your position. And let me ask you, when do you think that's going to be?
Got it. Well, I'm hoping maybe next year.
All right. Well, as you know, none of us have a crystal ball. Please understand that right now rates are at a 50-year low. So let's look at it and get a little bit granular with it. We're thinking that, let's say for argument's sake, prices come down the beginning of the year. Okay, so the house you can purchase now for $250,000, you can buy in January for $235,000. The downside of that is you can purchase it now at a 50-year low interest rate that as of yesterday was 2.875, or you could potentially buy it in January for $235,000 at a 4% rate. Which makes more sense to you?
Well, I want to pay as little as possible. And that is where your answer comes in.
You got to understand, it's easier said than done, but you're buying the payment. Real estate is cyclical. What goes up will go down, what goes down will goes up. If you're comfortable with the payment, then there's no reason that you shouldn't make a decision to buy now. And please remember that every time the rate bumps a quarter point, it affects your purchasing power by about $18,000. So every time the rate bumps a quarter point, it affects your purchasing power by $18,000. Understood, nobody knows where rates are going, but the Fed has mentioned that they're going to bump rates twice before the end of the year. So I understand you want to you may want to wait, but it makes more sense to do something now.
And by the way, Steve, how much will you be paying in rent for the next 12 months?
There you go. Exactly.
24,000. So you just lost $10,000. You know, make sure you have to be a solution maker here. Objections is all about creating the questions to dig deeper and provide a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding. Tom, we got just a couple seconds with you. There's a couple ones that are on this. I'm just going to wait and see what happened in the market after the first of the year. I'm not going to sell until next year, meaning there's no urgency. I don't want to do it right now.
Well, you know, I completely understand you're going to wait till then. So let's talk about why are we here? See, we're here for a reason. We're talking for a reason. You have an interest in selling. So let's talk about that again. Let's revisit that. What was your main purpose of us meeting today? What are you looking for? Are you looking to upgrade? Are you looking to downgrade? Are you just looking for a bigger home, more acreage? And really kind of dig in and be a consultant for them. And perfect example, I had a consultation with a friend of mine yesterday, and I said, Terry, it doesn't make sense for you to sell to get 3 acres when you have 2 acres. You know, so anyway, really, you got to ask more questions. You know, you just
well, and what you just did is you brought me to my motivation, Tom, which is cool because I'm really looking to buy a house because my wife and I want to live in a bigger house. So my motivation will predicate that, and there's always something that's inhibiting. I like that you asked that question to get to my motivation because that's really important.
Yeah, well, you know what they always say. You know, logic makes you think, emotion makes you act, right? So there's a reason we're here today. There's a reason you and I are speaking. You have that thought in your head to sell, but you want to wait another year. Let's dig into that. What are you looking for? The ideal home, let's talk about that. So if we can find
last one, and Heather, stick around because we want to talk about Minnesota Zillows and offer and Open Door offer pad kind of stuff. We'll cover that. I want to get your information on this one. I have a family member, a friend that is a realtor. Tom, why don't you start? And I know you got to hop off, and then we'll go to Steve.
So hey, George, I understand you have a family member that's a friend. And by the way, I've done this a million times, guys. I've had agents call me fired up. Hey, George, I understand you have a family member that's a friend or a family member or a very close neighbor. My question to you is this: are they working for you for free, or are they charging you a commission as well? Okay, and then I'm going to go into how easy would it be to fire them if they did not perform at the highest level for you. Then I'm going to ask them, hey, I have an idea to keep your relationship strong with your family member, friend, and neighbor. I'd be willing to pay them a referral so they can get something. And then your personal finances are secured with me being a third party. So
A lot of times family member and friends are inexperienced agents. A referral fee allows them to get off the hook as well as to honor their family member friend.
The
It's a
only thing
win-win.
the only thing I would add to that, George, is just do you absolutely have to sell this home, or are you just trying to do your friend a favor? You know?
There we go.
wow, yeah. And the other thing, guys, for the other people on this call, utilize it in your favor, right? So it's two sides. And then I'm going to go on and go, hey, I'm an agent. I'm here to help you, right? My job is to overcome that objection, to go, how easy would it be to fire your friend, family, sister, brother, son, daughter, whatever?
Outstanding.
that do
Tom,
you
you gotta go, or can you stay for a couple more?
I got to go right now. I'm actually 1
Okay,
minute late.
hop on. Steve and I will jump on and we'll finish this up.
All right.
Tom, thank you very, very much. I appreciate this back and forth. Let's keep going.
Thank you,
Steve, now
Tom.
it's,
All righty.
now it's you and me. I'm sorry. See, buddy. Steve, now it's you and me. We're just going to go hot and heavy on this. The family member one. I love the family member objection, and I get that every once in a while. And I always want to ask them the question, you know, if you're working with a family member and there's a challenge, are they going to kind of assume that it's something they can do? Or are they going to give 100% and make sure that they absolutely earn every single dollar and fight aggressively for you? A lot of times they take that for granted, as we do with the people we're closest to. And I loved what Tom said about coupling with them. That would be what I would do with that.
It's a legitimate thing. I mean, countless times over the years, we've ran into people or seller clients that have used family members and, you know, have sincerely wish they hadn't. So, you know.
I agree. Hold on. I'm reading this, buddy. I'm sorry.
You're good.
So here are some other objections. We covered the I have a friend in the business. I love this one. Well, thanks so much. We just kind of want to think about it for a little while.
I completely understand. And what is it that you need to think about?
Again, with the questions. And guys, did you get this? We want to think about it. Steve, you and I both know if we go into a listing or it's a buyer's making an offer on a property, because it works on both sides, and they say we want to think about it. I think you and I both know instinctively that we have failed to communicate what they really wanted to know. There are more questions that they have to answer.
And I think half the battle is asking that question. People are going to be uncomfortable asking that question back. And let me ask you, what is it that you need to think about? Two minds are better than one. Let's think, or three minds are better than one. Let's think about it now. What is it that you need to think about? I think the uncomfortableness of asking that question, but it just needs to get done, you know? So, and it enables you to dig deep and overcome the objection and hopefully get the listing agreement signed right then and there. So.
Here's one for us. We're going to love this one. And guys, I need you to do this for me. Everybody on the call, I want you to do this. We need some buyer objections. Steve is not that gifted in having them off the top of his head, nor am I. I need you to put some buyer objections in there. So just type them in. If you got an objection a buyer has, one of them is, of course, we want to think about it for a while. That's why we brought it up. Here's another one that comes up for the listing side. As you're listing a property, everybody here will hear this at one time or another. Let's price it a little bit higher than what it should be because the market's so hot right now. Or we want to just give it a try and see what happens. We can come down at a later time. Steve?
I completely understand. And let me tell you why that concerns me. You have agents that will take a listing on overpriced because they have no business, just to say that they have a listing. And then they'll go ahead and beat you up week after week with respects to a price reduction. My concern for you for that right now is days on market. Our average days on market is around 21 days. So one of the first things our buyer clients are asking us when they're looking or when we're showing them property is, number one, how long has it been on the market? That's probably the number one question. And if we're responding with 45, 60 days, number A, they think there's something wrong with the property, or number two, they think they can submit a low ball offer. So pricing this property correctly from the start is absolutely critical. If we go too high and we subject ourselves to those days on market, it can be detrimental to us in the long run.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
That's all.
Pricing them too high. I get that same one, and somebody asked me, so we want to list it high, we'll come down a little bit later. So I understand the thought process behind that, and I agree with you in principle because a lot of people will think that way. However, what that's actually going to do is cost you money. Can I explain? The answer is always yes. Think about this. If the property is on the market and it's overpriced, buyers now are very savvy. They have a lot of information and they know the difference between 3% overpriced and 5% overpriced. And if they don't come and see it, even if they do, they're going to negotiate against that because they have an idea. Why don't we create demand and actually get a little bit more than the market will bear? Because people always want what other people want. And we can do that with demand. That leads into, that's how I would handle that objection as well. Steve, do you have something that we're going to jump into Delaney's because it's brilliant. It feeds off of that.
No, you're good. That was good.
Okay,
George.
cool. So we know the house will sell fast in this market. Why do I need to pay a high commission if you want, if you want, why do I need to pay a high commission if you don't do a whole lot of work to sell the house? Delaney, did I nail that pretty close? I'm pretty sure that she may have been frozen on me, but I'm pretty sure that was the case, guys. Here's the response that I have for that one. Actually, we do a heck of a lot of work. Every single buyer that comes through that's going to make an offer on the home, we're going to vet that buyer out. We're going to make sure that we know exactly what their mortgage information is. We want to know their credit score. And yes, we're going to force the lender to do it. We're going to vet out your lender. We're going to out negotiate all the buyers in there, make sure you have the best terms. We're going to meet the appraiser, make sure that's squared away, and we're going to help navigate you through these inspections. Now, yes, of course, the market is very hot, so it won't spend as much time on the market, but we're going to be actually doing more work because the hopeful purpose of this is we're going to have 3, 4, or 5 offers, and I have to dive really deep into it and make sure that they all want the home, and if whoever gets it wins, and they feel like they've won. So I'm actually working harder, and yes, the marketing is exactly the same because I have to create the maximum amount of demand. That was my commitment regardless of the market. That's what I would say. Steve?
I would just add to that and say, I completely understand where you're coming from. Most agents will employ the 3 Ps of real estate. They'll put a sign in the front yard, pray that it sells, and put it on the MLS in order to create the demand so that we can ensure that we net you a higher offer. And please understand it's what we earn, not what you pay us. We do the 3 additional Ps. We price watch, prospect, and make sure that the presentation of your property is A1.
Price watch, prospect, and presentation. There's 3 Ps. Place it on the market, place a sign, and pray. Price watch, prospect, and what was the third one?
Presentation of your property is A1. And when I say prospect, I'm talking about circle prospecting, picking up the phones, calling the neighbors, let them know the property's coming on the market, calling the top brokers in your area, let them know it's coming on the market, door knocking 50 houses around that listing. That's what sets you apart. Okay? So
these are strategies for listing a property where you circle prospect. You can find that information in IMAP. You call around the neighborhood, or circle prospecting is also door knocking if you're doing an open house on a property you've just listed. That qualifies as circle prospecting. You also remember, you have one of the largest brokers. We're number 4 in my particular town. You can look it up in statistics and find out where you're at, wherever you live. We're number 4. Our brokerage is number 4 in this town as far as size, and very soon we'll be number 1. So I have access to my office is incredibly large. So I'm also reaching out to thousands of agents, which is also true in the MLS. I'm going to jump over to buyer 1. This is awesome.
George, can I, sorry to interject real quick, while we have numbers on the call. So scripting and role playing is one of the 5 key components of being an agent. I still work at it, and I still need a lot of work at it. What I'm trying to do is possibly start a script and role play call where we all jump on Zoom, maybe at 7:45 in the morning prior to this call. I hope this is the right forum for this, George. I'm not going to take up too much time. But if everybody could put in the chat that maybe I'm interested, just so I can get a gauge on numbers. It's important, you guys. We all get together. It's a safe zone. There's no judgment. We're not perfect, and we'll all work at this together. because scripting and role playing is key in this business, and it's something that should be done daily, whether it be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, it needs to be done. So that's beautiful. I'm seeing the I'm interested popping up. So I'll get a gauge on numbers and I'll get back to everybody by Friday, and we'll try to see if we can set something up. But if you're saying you're in, it's got to be commitment. It can't be just for like, 3 days and you're done. This is ongoing. If this is your career and this is what you want your life to look like, scripting and role playing is paramount. So
that's awesome. So, Stephen, you're going to have to figure out the format. How's it work? Do we have a live interaction? Do we bring a couple, 3 role plays and then just dive in and tear apart? If you're interested, please, you must participate. You must have your mic on. You must talk and communicate on this one, as Steve has said.
Cameras, it sucked. I didn't want to do camera for a long time. And then I finally forced myself to do it. It's getting in that growth mode and challenging yourself to do something that's uncomfortable every day.
Outstanding. Love that interest. 5:45 my time, Don Wild. Hell yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to reach out to Krista because she has a good one. I'll get to that in a minute, but let's jump on TJ's. Why should I use you to buy when I can use someone who's more experienced? May I have this one, Steve?
Yes, go ahead.
I need you to understand that I'm the tip of the iceberg, that it's not me, it's myself and my partners, and we do everything together. Our experience level outmatches anybody. You don't just have me, you have 5 or 6 other people, whatever your number is, who are here working on your behalf. When we negotiate, we talk about how can we win? Who do we know that knows that agent so that we can make sure we get you the information you need to make sure you're in the home? It's not just me. I'm just the tip of the iceberg. There's an entire team behind you. My business partners are X, Y, Z. He's on the top of my screen. I'll use Steve and Deep are my 2 business partners. They truthfully are. Deep out negotiates anybody. He's the best negotiator I've ever seen. You throw Tom in there, throw Will in there. It doesn't matter. Style in there. It doesn't matter. I'm the tip of the iceberg. That would be my response, TJ. It's not me. I'm the tip of the iceberg. And please, everybody on this call, whatever brokerage you're with, but with our brokerage I'm with, you're all my business partners. Use my name. Okay. Steve, do you have something for that one? Why would I use you when I'd use a more experienced agent?
That's a tough one. I mean, not really. I would go back with a question again, and I would say, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. What gives you the impression or makes you think that we're inexperienced? And try to go off of that. Go ahead. What gives you the impression that we're inexperienced, George?
Well, you look very young. I don't think you've been how long have you been a real estate agent?
Right.
I'm pretending.
I mean, it's a challenging market out there for buyers, as we all know right now. We've been advocating for buyers for 20 plus years. It's critical that you work with an agency that is representing buyers, is still getting offers accepted with closing cost concessions and even the sale of house contingencies. So I'm sorry you feel that way with respect to the inexperience. Let's do this. Let's sit down one-on-one for a buyer consult. Obviously, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion, and let's dig into what your goals are and see if we can help you. That's what I would do.
All right. This is what Krista brought up. Buyer wants a deal and submitting offers that I know are not going to get accepted because he doesn't want to overpay. I do a market analysis, show the buyer the homes are going under contract. I do educate. So basically the issue that she's having at this point is we got a buyer who's offering full price when we know it's going to be overvalued, where it's going to have to be more than that.
I would probably tell the buyer, hey, look, I understand this is where you're at. I don't want to waste everybody's time. Let's reach out. I'm going to reach out to the listing agent directly via phone to see if our offer would even be in contention before we go through the rigmaroles of drafting up the offer and submitting it. Please understand, that at some point we have to get aggressive. We can go down the street and get the house that nobody else wants that's been sitting on the market 60 days and I can get the price reduced. But the ones that come on the market that are priced right and worth it, they're going to continue to go quickly, and quite possibly are going to continue to go above list price. So my concerns for you are that if we keep trying to go in low or at list, obviously the numbers have to make sense. I don't want to see you overpay for a property. But if we continue to go at list or lower 6 months from now, when prices have jumped up another 20, 30,000, we're still in a position where we're trying to find a house. Whereas if we get aggressive now, take advantage of the lower rates, go in at 10, 20 grand over and get an offer accepted, you're going to be ahead of the game 6 months from now. That's how I would combat that.
Right on. Love it. Folks.
Thank you.
Oh, Krista, you're back on now. I was looking up your phone number so that I could give you that answer because I saw that it looked like you jumped off.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi went off, so I came back. Thanks.
Oh, well, I'm like, well, it's such a good question. I've got Katie Corp. I'm like, I got to get her phone number. Call. I was going to leave you a voicemail with Steve's answer. So I was taking down notes so that you had it. So I'm glad we did it. All right.
Yep.
819. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you think y'all want to do this again every month or so. Kind of have a role play thing. We can keep working through it. I'm assuming it's probably a heck yeah. It looks like, Steve, you've got a hell of a lot of interest in role playing on a daily basis, which might be even a better way. I would like to share some common objections with you. This is in the chat box, and I'd like you guys to pull this up. This is Mike Ferry's objections. I only want to give a 30 to 90 day listing. I'm sorry, I won't do that. It's blank months, our company policy, therefore. There's an answer for it. The answer is no. I don't really care because I have a cancellation clause in my listings. So when I'm doing that, that's great. We're thinking about X company. We've never heard about your company. That's a legitimate objection that we might get some of our brokerages. I can understand your current concern. I think the company doesn't sell a home. It's the individual agent's activities that do. This is all in here for you in the chat box. You can also search it under Mike Ferry Objections. Mike is a little aggressive. There's also, if you search Mike Ferry Objections, Tom Ferry Objection Handlers will be right on top of that. Tom is awesome. That's his son. They're out there. You have to practice and study them. That's what Steve's talking about. The reason he's good at this is because he practices this. I used to do it every single day before I get on phone. I had to have the objections.
Yeah.
He also works for prospecting.
Nikki Ubaldini is another good one too. Nikki Ubaldini.
Yeah.
So if you search them up, that they've got some great stuff. I'm excited about the interest, so I'm going to get back to everybody and see if we can get something going. What it'll be, George, is probably we'll get on a central forum through Zoom, and there's a way where we can break off into separate rooms and have 2 to 3 people a room. They'll work on some of the scripting that they want to work on with the individuals in that room for maybe 15 minutes, come back into the central room, maybe brainstorm for 5, throw some stuff around and done. But it's something that I'd want to do daily. So I'll get with everybody on that soon.
With role playing, when you're doing objection handling in any kind of role playing like this, the person that is doing it always wins. Remember that. You're not trying to beat them up. You're trying to challenge them, but they are going to win at the end because you are going to finish each role play with a victory where you handle the objection and they agree. But the biggest challenge on that is you got to keep pushing through it. You're not done asking questions, and it's almost always more questions. There's a little statement and then a question of what their interest is, what their priorities are. People want, these are the 3 things that happen in every situation. They want the most amount of money or the best offer presented on their house. They want it in their time frame or fast as they possibly can or as slow as they can until you know you don't know. Until you ask, you don't know. And they want it with the least amount of frustrations. These 3 problems are inherent with buyers and with sellers. From a buyer, you want to get a house at the absolute best price. Is the best price the most important thing to you, or do we have a time frame at which we have to get the house? And if it's a lot of hassle, we got to do a complete remodel, is that going to be okay? Something in there is going to change by asking those questions. And this is buyer side. So y'all think about this. Well, I've got to be in a house in 45 days. Okay, so time frame is really, really important. That's going to take out hassle, because hassle doesn't matter. We got to be in the house, and it's also going to alleviate price. Now what we have to do is we have to win the house that you want. We have to win it under any circumstances, because the mortgage, the interest rates are 2.85. And if we waited another couple of months and they go up to 3.25, holy cow, off script, get a mortgage calculator, figure out what that dollar amount is. It's a $500,000 house and it goes up a quarter point. It's like $300 a month additional, or $3,600 a year. I don't have the exact numbers, but do the math. What does that change? Because this is part of our skill set. But do you see how these three questions, most amount of money, least amount of time, fewest amount of hassles? That's also buyer, least price, no hassles, and time frame. You have to know these three questions. That's part of kind of foundational in all of them. All right. Thank you.
George, one last
Yes,
thing. One last thing. And hopefully it's okay. If you guys get a chance today, jump on Facebook and check out Justin Ford is with EXP. He posted a call that he did with a FISBO yesterday. And this lady must have told him no 5 times during the course of this call. She even told him that she had a friend in the business. This guy completely didn't get derailed, kept going, and by the end of the call got the appointment. So check it out. It'll be on Facebook. Justin Ford, he's with EXP.
How do you spell his last name?
Ford, F-O-R-D. It was a great call. He just posted it live yesterday. So check it out when you can.
Okay, cool. I just typed it in the chat box.
Yeah, it's got some tenacity. So,
folks, I
Thank
hope
you,
y'all got
Coach.
something from this. Thank you guys for participating so much. Steve, God bless you, man. Thank you. That was awesome. I will tell you, for everybody that's still on the call, just so you know, Steve had a brokerage. No brokerage, is a broker, of course, a broker associate at this point, has looked at this and said, this is the best thing I can do for my partners, my agents who were working with me, and for my long-term business strategy, and then rolled him into our brokerage. He is a master of listings and also buyer side. We're coaching him through stepping back a little bit from the buyer sides. But as far as a skill set, honestly, one of the best we have, and he's a resource. And he was nervous about being on this call. He was like,
no, I wasn't. Come on. What are you talking about?
Dude, you're I gotta WTF. How can you throw me under the bus like this? Oh my God, that was exactly, I can show you the quote from him. But he's like, what? I told him, I said, listen, you two are on the call. I didn't even tell you. It came out in the text message, so you'd find out.
Hey, listen, I appreciate the opportunity, and I thank everybody for being on this morning. So thank you for listening, everybody.
So with a little bit of nerves in there, to you, Steve, specifically, with a little bit of nerves in there, after going through it, kind of fun getting involved and participating, isn't it?
Yes, sir. You could say that. Uh-huh.
Everybody else here, this is all about you. And honestly, every single one of you is the entire reason the GPS group is created. It's all about goals, partnership, and synergy. And nothing happens without you. Nothing happens without you. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And your participation is critical. For everybody that put in the questions, thanks so much, because it really helps a bunch. For everybody that asked them, love it. Love that you're here. Don't anybody go anywhere. Actually, Steve, carry on for 1 second.
God, he threw me under the bus again, didn't he? Where did you go, George?
I'm back.
Hey, Steve, what's your last name so we can find you on Workplace?
P-U-G-H. I'm just putting it up here. Well,
Natasha, are you on the phone? Can you hear me, Natasha?
let's see. There it goes.
I can hear you.
That's for you, dear.
George, George, real quick, can I run? I got a lead gen. It's about that time.
Go do what you got to do.
Okay. Hey, thank you, everybody.
P-U-G-H, and it's pronounced.
Thank you,
I just call him Steve. It's Steve Pooh, I believe. Poe. Let's go Poe, not Pooh. Steve Poe. So now he's off the call. What'd y'all think? He's pretty good, isn't he? Huh? Give me a thumbs up if you like them. That's what I need to see, a little bit of feedback on there.
He's my amazing team leader.
Yeah, yes, Sasha, he is. He's pretty righteous. I love Steve. He's so good at what he does. Thank you guys for the thumbs up, Olivia, Gwen. God bless you guys for doing this. I see Miss Laura, who is Steve's much prettier and much smarter significant other, is on the call. She is a dear friend of mine and just a freaking rock star. Laura, good to see you, honey. I'm glad you're on the call as well.
What's up, guys?
Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Hey, just as a heads up, as far as the role playing, you see in the bottom, well, the bottom of my page, Don Wild is out of Denver, Colorado. Don is going to be up at 5:45 in the morning to get on these role playing calls. Now, that's the kind of commitment I just absolutely love. Let's see, somebody, if you would, let's post it in there. I am not kidding. I'm not going to let up. I'm going to put a video on it today that y'all are going to get. Y'all need to show up at this summit. It is for you. It is completely about you. It is a $99 commitment, or it's $106 with tax. And that covers the expense happy hour. That covers not the booze, just I can't afford that. The happy hour and the room and the hotel. It is a break-even event. We don't make a penny on it. That's not our goal. Our goal is to provide you with the best speakers in the world, in my opinion, that besides Tony Robbins, that are here to help you and your business and also to motivate you. And if you don't act right now, if you don't say, I'm going to do this, there's a good chance it's not going to be available for you. And it's so important. You guys are the ones, think about this, look around on your screen. You're the ones that are here every single day. You deserve this. You're here. You're the reason that this is happening. Please, for your own good, sign up today. Get your ticket. You need to make this commitment to your business. I'm that committed to it. It will change your energy level. It'll change your emotional state. And I believe it will change your bottom line. It will also change your 2022. And that is the whole purpose of why we're doing it in September, so that you get a jump start, because our 2022 starts October 1st. First quarter of the year is October 1st. Trust me on this. All right, go tell somebody you love them. Tell them that they're important and that you miss them, and that they mean something to you, and that they're valuable and that they're good, because they need to hear it. You're going to make a special impact on somebody. It's just the right time. You don't know. So just randomly go out, find somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while, and call them and let them know that you're thinking about them and that they matter and they're important and you hope they're doing great. It will change their day. It will absolutely impact you in a positive way as well. It's kind of that pay it forward thing. And the dates for the summit are the 16th and 17th of September. Starts at 10 o'clock on the 16th and is over at 4 o'clock. So it's almost something that if you're in the state of Florida, you can kind of drive into. We wanted to make it as convenient as possible so that there wasn't a lot of burden. The hotel is extremely nice, and there's a lot of places to eat around there, and just you're going to have a great time. We did it on Thursday and Friday because some people may say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the weekend off and enjoy Walt Disney World and Universal Studios. I like Universal better because, guys, it's really not very crowded around here in September. So come and enjoy. That was the mission statement behind it. God bless you. It is 9:28, and at 9:30, I can go to work because that's where I start my prospecting. I hope you're doing the same thing. I'm going to make an after hour. Daryl, you ready, sir?